Hi all, welcome back to a new post today, and I hope you all are doing wonderfully well. So there has been a deepening of defense ties between India and many countries. Recently we've seen deepening of defense ties between India and Vietnam, and now Prime Minister Narendra Modi is on a visit to USA. So there has been a proposal from a very powerful congressional committee on China regarding the further deepening of defense ties between India and USA. Let's have a quick review of this and what are the repercussions if India does accept the proposal of USA. So Prime Minister, we know, is on a state visit to the United States of America, and just on June 21st he participated in the 9th International Day of Yoga, and he led the United Nations celebrations on International Day of Yoga at New York, the headquarters of the United Nations. It was just recently so in 2016 that India and USA took a step ahead in their defense ties when they signed the Logistics Exchange Memorandum Agreement, and India was declared by United States as a major defense partner. So these two announcements and this agreement called as LEMOA actually took a step ahead in the defense ties of India and USA. Now, India and USA have also stepped up their cooperation among themselves and also in multilateral groups in the quadrilateral grouping between India, USA, Japan and Australia, and also a grouping called as the I2U2, which consists of India and Israel and USA and UAE. Now, when Prime Minister Narendra Modi was on a state visit to United States, the US Congressional Committee on China made a proposal that India should be a part of the NATO Plus 5 grouping to only take ahead the step of the deepening of defense ties between India and USA. So what is this NATO Plus 5 grouping all about? This grouping is very recent one, not the original NATO. So this Plus 5 grouping is a very recent one which came into being only in 2019, and it consists of 31 member countries along with 5 aligned nations including Australia, New Zealand, Japan, Israel, South Korea, and this grouping has been formed to address the rise of China or the aggressive nature of China in 2019. So a US Congressional Committee made a recommendation that India should be a made part of the NATO Plus 5 grouping, and the Senate, which is the United States of America's upper house, said it will introduce a legislation to bring India into the NATO Plus 5 defense status. However, our External Affairs Minister, that is Jaishankar, had rejected the framework for India. The security arrangement exists between United States and NATO partners and 5 other countries: Australia, New Zealand, South Korea, Japan and Israel. The US announcement follows a recommendation from the US House of Representation Committee on China that India should be included in this club for the benefit of United States, and now this is being done to upgrade the India-US ties. The United States of America administration thinks that the most effective way to improve India's defense capabilities was to increase the defense trade between US and India, and the intention of making India a part of the NATO Plus 5 grouping is nothing but to ensure that defense transfer between India and USA is done without any bureaucratic hurdle, and they want to go beyond the common descriptions of the world's oldest democracy between the two countries and the world's biggest democracy to a full-fledged partnership right now. So this is what the intention was made clear to the Congress by the US Representative Congressional Committee. And so what is this arrangement all about? Now, this NATO Plus 5 grouping would facilitate transfer of the topmost American defense technology and equipment without any bureaucratic hassle, and this was said by the committee amid the growing challenges of rising China. It will also boost the intelligence ties between the two countries. It will bring on board India to seamless intelligence sharing between the two countries, and it would help India to access the latest technology without much of a time lag. The committee said that India's inclusion will strengthen the US objective of deterring China's aggression. So what are the consequences if India in case becomes a part of this grouping? So there are three most important repercussions for this. First of all, it is going to affect India-Russia ties. So we know that the US, which is the head of the NATO, and also the NATO countries are against Russia. It is a grouping that was formed actually to deter the Russia aggression as well at that time. And if NATO joins the US-led NATO alliance, which is backing Ukraine in the Russia-Ukraine war, definitely is going to impact New Delhi's strong deepening ties with Russia and also the independent stand that India takes apart from US in many things. So US has been urging India not to purchase the oil from Russia, but let me tell you, India and China now purchase almost 85% plus of oil from Russia, and they blame India and China for actually furthering the Ukraine war, because this is how Russia is getting money to continue the war which hasn't yet ended. So US wants to also cut off Russia and gain India's defense deals from Russia. Let me tell you, Russia is also a biggest defense supplier to India and also benefit from the strategic location in the Indo-Pacific. The other most important repercussion is that entertaining of US military bases. Till now, India does not host any of the foreign country bases, and already India was criticized by various opposition parties when it was signing the LEMOA agreement in 2016 itself. Now this will bring about a board where US can bring up a proposal to stage the US bases in India, and also we have the important strategically positioned Andaman and Nicobar Islands. So US might be eyeing those islands as well. US wants to have a military base in India. Definitely this will not happen. Being a part of the NATO, it will mean that India will have to be dragged into American conflicts with other countries as well. And also one more thing, it's the most important, it is going to be against the non-alignment principle of India's foreign policy and also independence. Already India is a member of Quad, and the Quad is being criticized by China and other like-minded countries as the new Asian NATO. So this is what is the repercussions for India. There will be more of interference also by the US in internal issues of India as well. The Indian government has made it very clear that it does not want to be a part of this framework, and also this is not the government, the decision of the president. It is a proposal by the US Congressional Committee, and for it to become a reality, there has to be a lot of discussion between the two countries, and also the act has to come about. India has already made itself that it is not interested to be a part of the NATO Plus 5 alliance. So these are some of the repercussions of being a part in case if India obliges to. So India will not be a part of the NATO grouping, because of one of the most important principles of its foreign policy is non-alignment and independence and protecting its sovereignty and integrity as well. I hope this information was really helpful to you all, and if you did, please do like, share, subscribe. I shall see you in my next post. Until then, very happy learning.